Today is the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Our Gospel text is Matthew chapter 16, verses 24 through 30. It is one of the 7 parables in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 13. Jesus compares the kingdom of heaven to someone who sowed good seed in his field, and someone else came along and sowed bad seed amidst the good seed, thus putting this man who sowed the good seed into an impasse. He's faced with a decision between options which are unattractive, not good. Jesus, I think, is in effect saying, get inside that experience of impasse. From within that impasse, you will get a glimpse of what the kingdom of heaven is like. Now, the very fact that we are anticipating animals, we have expectations. We can't help it. The very fact of our expectations makes us vulnerable to the experience of impasse. In one form or another, mostly ordinary, but sometimes extraordinary, we all must deal with that moment when we are faced with decisions that are unattractive alternatives or that are bad alternatives. The story of Jacob from the book of Genesis comes to mind. In chapter 28, we read of Jacob's contesting with God in a dream. He wakes up in the morning and his hip has been dislocated. He will limp for the rest of his life because of his struggles with God. But he also comes away from that experience saying, in a most profound and I think reverential way, surely God was in this place and I didn't know it. That's not a bad place to start, to reflect on life generally, but those moments in life that test us, because we are faced with choices we wouldn't normally choose. We cannot change what has happened. We have little control over what will happen. But we do know that God is with us, that God is loving, and that God's loving is liberating. And therefore, there is no need to be afraid. That is the essence of our faith right there. The covenant that God has forged with us, that we have entered into through baptism. We believe that God is with us. We believe God is a loving God. We believe that God's love is liberating. We believe there is no need to be afraid. It's hard to grow into that truth, that core revelation, but that is what we believe. That is our faith tradition. The 16th century Carmelite mystic and poet, St. John of the Cross, uses the metaphor of the dark night. It can help us in reframing the experience of impasse, especially the serious experiences of impasse. John talks of those moments when the mind is darkened. We can't see our way. It seems that we are lost. This is actually based on his view of this as a positive, growthful moment, is based on the belief that God is there. God is with us. God's love is in everything, even in this darkness. God's love is liberating. There's no need to be afraid. To bring our faith to bear on every moment, everywhere, to practice that, so that if we practice it in the times when we don't need it, it'll be there for us in those times when we do need it, maybe desperately. These moments of impasse can be particularly testing of a loving relationship or a vocational commitment. we can feel as though all is lost, that our relationship, our love for each other has come to an end, or our vocational life has become hollow, has run out of reasons for us to persevere. Through the lens of faith, by regarding this through the metaphor of the dark night as something that is within the realm of God's love, the moment can actually lead to greater depth of care and respect for each other, greater awareness and appreciation for who and what the other is as other, or in terms of our vocational life, it becomes more real, more grounded, perhaps less grandiose, less self-centered. Living is more about the questions that life has for us rather than the questions we have for life. How we respond to those questions will be the measure of the kind of person we become. To see life through the lens of the light of Christ makes all the difference.